Universities South Africa has added its expression of outrage over the murder of Fort Hare law student Nosicelo Mtebeni. The organization says it's shocked and dismayed at what happened. It's reaffirmed its zero tolerance for violence. To speak to us more about this is Meyer from Universities South Africa. Good afternoon to you, Linda. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I totally understand outrage and, the zero tolerance. But the question, though, is what is Universities SA actually doing about this scourge of violence against women in the university society?
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity for us to speak today. We have really started working very closely with the Department of Higher Education and Training, as well as Higher Health, in formulating policy frameworks, and we have worked with the Department of Higher Education on the policy and strategic framework for addressing gender-based violence in the entire PSET sector. We work very closely with Higher Health, and we have recently developed a set of norms and standards that will be implemented within universities. We must understand that universities are just a reflection of the microcosm of society. It's just a small part of what society is, and we need to not just make sure that within our universities we reflect these zero tolerance principles, but within the communities in which our universities are located, we need to be at the forefront of ensuring that the scourge on women is seen as unacceptable, and that where people are perpetrators, that we stand by communities in ensuring that they are prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Linda, are you able to maybe assess these policies and programs that you have put in place, whether or not they are working?
Well, I think clearly what we are acknowledging is they're not working well enough. And this is why in the last 18 months, we have put tremendous effort and really brought experts on board so that we can start instilling these programs within our institutions. We by no means are saying that we are doing enough. Many of the universities have excellent programs. They have 24-hour call centers. They have psychosocial support structures on site. They have sociology experts. They have psychologists on staff that support staff and students. Because we must remember, it's not just students that are subjected to gender-based violence, and also not just females. So there are holistic programs, but we need to do more. And this is really something that we need to acknowledge. I think we need to accept that in our institutions, that our students are extremely vulnerable, they're young adults, many people take advantage of them, and we need to make sure that we do whatever we can to protect them in the best possible way.
Yeah, and with psychologists and support, how about the support from the universities in just getting justice for these victims, in assisting the victims to get justice?
I think that you raise an extremely important point, is that the student support officers within universities often have taken the route of just supporting the victim and not standing by them through the process of the criminal justice system. And we need to critically reflect on this and make sure that we are seen to be and standing by our students, not only as the court processes unfold, but that we support them in all elements of psychosocial support, not just in forgetting about the incident or being able to manage the incident, but how do we walk the entire journey with them to ensure that they feel supported throughout this process of appearing in court and making sure that we are seen publicly in supporting all of our students as they go through these processes.
And just as we wrap up, Linda, is there any focus on the males in the universities, in engaging them, and as far as gender-based violence is concerned?
Yes, we work very closely with the student support structures, and there are training interventions, but this is something we must accept as a society, something that we have kept quiet about. GBV is not something that is at the forefront of our discussions, and we need to make it front and center of open discussions, not only about victims, but about the perpetrators, because many of them come with extensive baggage, have been subjected to GBV as they grew up, and then became perpetrators as they proceeded through life. This societal normalization of accepting that GBV is just something, that women can be battered to keep quiet and to do what the male says, is unacceptable. And as a society, all of us are equally accountable. Every single South African is accountable to stand up and say, it's enough. This needs to stop. When as a society can we stand by and know that our sisters, our mothers, our daughters are being subjected to these things? In many instances, our sons are sometimes subjected to this. And we stand back and we accept this. We can no longer take this idle road of just hoping that people ignore what is going on. It really is enough, and it needs to stop.
All right. Thank you very much, Linda. Maybe just in closing, do you have any idea of what support that you will be giving now to this, the family of this young lady, Nosicelo Mtebeni, the student from Fort Hare who has passed away, killed by the apparent boyfriend?
Yes. So the university, under the leadership of Professor Sakela has already reached out to the family. They will be rendering full support throughout the burial service and the entire ceremony and process of burying Ms. Mtebeni. Also standing by her family. And we must remember that her friends, the fellow students and the staff are just as affected. And Higher Health has deployed a team of experts to the University of Fort Hare to provide psychosocial support to not only the family of Ms. Mtebeni, but to the entire staff and student population. We'll also be working very closely with the community, because we see that there are high prevalence of GBV in the surrounding areas and in the specific surrounding areas where our students live, close to the university, in close proximity of the university. The broader societal context will be addressed, and as we address this absolutely underlying pathological norms of normalizing GBV, we won't just be looking at the university and the support there, but really be focusing on how we can have this culture of zero tolerance spread throughout our university structure,